Welcome back YouTube. So today we're going to do a little leg day. This is my first leg day of prep for 2024, so very exciting. We're going to go through the session, break it down. I've not changed anything. There's no need to change anything with training right now. Everything's in a really great space. Everything seems to be still progressing really well. So whilst that's as is, and obviously recovery demands from foods and stuff are still sat in a really great place, we can obviously still push the boat when it comes to training. So looking forward to RDLs today, but because the cleansing definitely got some strange cramps going on because it's the first day or so. So hopefully they'll subside and I'll be okay. But hopefully training and stuff still goes really well. We'll obviously try and make sure that it goes really well, but you just never know. Where am I at mentally? I'm actually feeling really great. I'm really excited to get stuck into prep. I was waiting for it to come. I was not doing very well with the whole eating thing. I was obviously sticking to my plan, eating to everything that I needed to, but the amount of times I put a spoonful of food in my mouth and I felt like it was just going to come straight back out was very, very, very often in that last week of off season. I mean, I don't know if it's a mental thing because your body's like, oh, it's time now to be able to go into the prep, but I was just very much ready for foods to come down, so I'm very thankful for it. Eating my meals and not feeling sick, which is nice. We've seen a real big, well not big, but big-ish calorie drop, so we should see things move pretty well to begin with. Obviously, as we go throughout, we'll take you through every phase of my prep. Obviously, we do a lot of the pushing hard, diet breaks to be able to bring a good but fresh and bubbly, lovely look to the stage, fingers crossed. So yeah, we'll take you along for the journey, but I'm going to start my session now and I'll take you through all of the movements. Prior to starting my session, I like to start with a little abductor, not adductor, abductor. Kind of just think it's a mental thing really, just to get the glutes firing a little bit before we start the session. But it's been a nice little addition because sometimes I do find when I do the adductor that my hip hurts a little bit. So sometimes when I've got those muscles firing a little bit more around my hip, then the adductor doesn't hurt as much from a hip perspective. Not that I'm old, but I've been doing sport for a very long time, so my body's a bit battered, so I have to try and do little things like that to try and get my body working again. Oh. So, first movement is adductors. I can't get my legs super wide because of a previous injury that I feel like I say this all the time. Basically, if I do anything with my lower body, unless you've got similar injuries, please don't copy me. Because if you can get more range of motion because you've got healthy, good hips, please do, because it'll benefit you a lot. I just can't because of my little bit of a niggle with my hip. So, with the adductors, you want to make sure that you have a nice little pause in the stretch, a nice little pause in the squeeze, unless you are told to do something different where you have more pauses in the outer position, more pause in the middle position. Just make sure that you do control that change in direction so that you can see the difference between when you're coming out to when you're coming together. And at all times you want to think about dragging and smooth motions. If you kind of really do quick movements on this, you will use a lot of body language, a lot of momentum, rather than just utilising your adductors, which is what this movement needs to be.
if you let me put it down, 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 if you let me put it down, 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 down to you when we get home, if you let me put it.
Easy work, come on! Yes! Good. Good. Consistent range, come on! Good. Go again. Good.
I think that there's just two movements that I'm like that with: hack squats or any type of squats, whether that had been a Smith squat before or hack squats now. Thinking about then other movements really, I think there's just a little bit more of a risk factor there. So that was good. 4 plates, not that I'm any into prep yet, but 1.5 kilos down from the last time I did it, and still managed to get the weights and reps going. So fingers crossed we can at least hold like a 3 plates and a 10 throughout the whole of prep. Fingers crossed. I mean, we might not be able to, depends. But when you get lean, especially towards the back end of prep, it is very difficult, but I'll aim to try and hold that as much as I can. Obviously with an RDL, for me, I'm going to talk about it from a mental aspect, because I think that I've spoken about how to do an RDL too many times. But from a mental aspect, you have to think to yourself when you're in a competition prep, you did the movement, 10 days ago it was for me. Have I lost a bit of body fat? Yes. Have I lost any muscle mass? No. So stop being a pussy, just go and do it. That's literally the exact thing that I said to myself just before my RDL. So maybe you can try it and see if it works for you. I like to be horrible to myself. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, it's okay, sunshine and rainbows. I'm like, tell me I'm fucking shit and then I'll do better. Oh, I did do 8. I thought I'd done 7. Buzzy. Third exercise, hip thrusts. They're an absolute killer after RDLs. So obviously an RDL really challenges the glutes in that stretched position. A hip thrust, obviously you get a real good challenge in the stretch, but it's potentially one of the only movements that you can really challenge the glutes in that squeeze position, or as we call it, in the short. So they actually complement each other really well that way around if you want optimal glute development. and I'm dead after that set. We ran a dealer just before I start prep, and it took me until now to just feel good. I did my first 2 sessions, my push and pull, and I was like, oh my God, I feel worse than what I felt before my deload. I was like, oh my God, if you had to take more rest. I feel great today, so we're all good.
I got rid of that because it's quite heavy chalk. So we'll just have to go like, first set, 8 to 12. Back off, definitely 10 to 12. No less. So it has to be one more.
Oh, my knees. So my 4th exercise was leg extensions. Moving on to my 5th. Yeah, 5th. Is leg press. My knees feel a little bit niggly today. They have done for the past kind of week or so. Don't really know why. They do it sometimes, but still feel good to go. Just probably going to have to be a little bit cautious with my range of motion, but it's fine because this is a little bit more hip dominant than quad dominant on this day anyway. Going to do the leg press. I have got the same weight on as last time. Hopefully we get a few more reps. Still trying to push for strong sets, strong progressions across the board on every session. I reckon the only session that will probably see like a bit of a hit to begin with, and then it'll probably come back up and then maybe go back down and come back up, is usually push. And the reason it comes back up is because you add in a little bit of assistance and then you drop off because you take it off again and then you add it back in and then you bigs again. So it's all fun and games, isn't it, really? But it's all about just having good, strong, hard sessions, and that's what it's all about.
Tight, get tight, strong brace. Fucking work. Good. 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 Come on. Good. 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 Come on. Come on. Strong. Good. Come on. And back. Come on. Take it easy. Good. Good. Come on. Yeah. Beautiful. Good. Focus. One rep. Right through. Let's go. All the way through. Finish it. There you go.
This exercise is the split squat. I am doing it dual arm loaded rather than contralateral loaded. Obviously, with that, you never obviously stop working your quads in any split squat, but before I was definitely biasing the glutes a little bit more, whereas this one's a little bit more of a stance for the whole leg. I'm not going to call it a bias of the quad or the glute, it's kind of just a power stance ready to get to work. Obviously, in my first set, Kuba had corrected me to keep my chest a little bit taller, so that's what I did for my second set. Felt a little bit better, felt a little bit harder when I stood my chest up. I think because I was doing the contralateral loaded and I was leaning forward for that to be able to create a little bit more hip extension, sometimes it's hard to then come away from that, so obviously that just will get better over time. Bloody Nora. That's really difficult. after a big session, that's just hard. So last exercise, because I've got calves, don't really count them as an exercise. Still taking failure, but they're a bit easy, aren't they? Should I say that? Last exercise is the lying leg curl. After doing all that, these are very difficult, but obviously got to switch on to make sure that they're a solid set, because we need some big hamstrings on stage, so there's no time to get weak on them because we need to retain that muscle that obviously we've just built. Which takes me on to a good point actually. When you do comp rep, are you going to see a little bit of strength loss? Yes. But can you try and fight it for as long as possible? Absolutely. It's like I don't use assistance the entirety of my prep and I still manage to maintain my training performance. I do think that it correlates to how much do you actually enjoy training, because I think if you enjoy training, regardless of when it gets really difficult, like this is your place that just makes you feel so happy. Like I come in here and it's a break away from work, it's a break away from life, I can switch off from everything, focus on the session, have a good crack with the people that obviously I care about, and even then in the depths of prep that's the same thing. So I think that's one serious factor to retaining performance, like real true enjoyment, because if you really truly enjoy something and are really passionate about it, you'll give it your all to try and make sure that you can hold on to it as much as possible. Hamstring curls, the biggest mistake, or the most common mistake that people make, is they shove their hips up really far and they turn their toes out. If you do that, you just make the movement so easy, like you're not using your hamstring, you're just using momentum, probably your quads, to get the movement going. Try and keep a tiny little bit of an internal rotation with your toe, not to the point where it's in, but to the point where it can just remain neutral. And try and make sure that when the heels come over, that you keep your tummy that tight that your hips can't shoot up. They will move a little bit, but not to the point where you're up and down. So just make sure that you don't shoot that. Right, I feel like I've got like a bit of a ring light going on here. Does it make me look pretty? Oh, fantastic. End of the leg session. It was actually very successful. I sound surprised. I'm not surprised, but it's nice to feel good. As I said during my session, I felt a little bit funky the first couple of days after the deload, and I don't really know why. But coming to the gym today and felt really good, so excellent. It's really nice to be in prep because I've dropped some body weight and I can actually sleep a little bit. It's only 1.5 kilos, but like that 1.5 kilos off the body, honestly, at night time is so nice. I mean, I'm not a guy, and I don't know, maybe I have like sleep apnea, but actually me, not because I'm a bodybuilder, because Cooper keeps saying that I'm waking him up when I'm snoring and stuff. And I definitely can feel it when I wake up in the morning, and I've definitely woke myself up a few times in the night. So I'm just glad to be able to sleep a little bit easier just from being a little bit less heavy. And it's only a tiny little bit, so it's only going to get better from here until we get right to the end of prep, where you feel like you can't sleep because your body's like this in starvation mode, trying to feed off any little bit of energy that they can. Then the strong sleepers, double amount of dream sleep will come into play. Anyway, I'm gonna have my post-workout meal now and go home, so you can stop watching if you would like. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna have 100 grams of Trained by JP cookies and cream of rice with the chocolate ISO Pro mixed in with some raspberries. If you want some, use code MEG10 for all your money off, including the clothing as well. Thanks guys, I'll see you later.